Wait, Greg, are you drunk? Greg's drunk behind the camera. Did you drink all of your drinks? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, anyways, go back to work. You want a beer? Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Cody Sperber, the Clever Investor here, and today I got something really special for you. I got one of the leading millennial entrepreneurial authorities in the world, Mr. Peter Voogd. He's in the house. I'm super excited to have a conversation with him. So first off, we're here at Social Hall. They were cool enough to let us come and set up shop. And cheers, man.
Excited to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
You got to drink. You got to drink with me.
That's true. That's what you do after cheers.
All right, so first off, welcome to Arizona.
Thank you. I love it here. Besides the 104, everything else I love.
The temperature?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's about to get a lot hotter. You know, I got used to it.
It's not humid, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You're not sweating instantly just for it.
I love the area, man.
You got to move here. We got to get you here.
We want to look at some properties. Yeah, I'm excited to check them out.
I know a real estate guy.
Yeah. You probably know a couple.
Well, listen, you're killing it online. You're one of the biggest social influencers in the world. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers and followers. You got, you know, a #1 rated podcast. You're a writer for Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur.com actually named you as one of the leading authority millennial entrepreneurs and educators. You got best-selling books. You're freaking killing it. You're killing it. But I wanna get real. I want to get raw.
Love it.
Like, first off, if you guys don't know Peter, you should definitely, you know, down below this video, there'll be some links and stuff. Go check out his stuff. His Game Changers Academy, which I'm sure we'll get into at some point, is changing a lot of young people's lives. But I want to get real. I want to get raw. Because whenever I see somebody that's successful at such a young age, it always inspires me, because every time I see a video or I see you online, you pump me up, because you're so enthusiastic. And I always joke around and I say things like, you know, I always wonder when people are going to figure out I'm not that smart, because I'm just so enthusiastic about what I'm into. And I love that about you, and it's contagious. How does somebody go from, you know, maybe they're watching this right now and they got big hopes, big dreams, they want to go places, they feel different? You know, like, did you feel different as a kid?
Yeah, for sure. Outcast. Felt like I didn't fit in. I felt like I was put in a box and I had to break out. So I definitely felt different. I never fit in anywhere I was, because I grew up in a small town of 6,000, 7,000 people. So I was like, everyone else is reserved and calm and quiet. I'm like energized. I want to go do something. I don't want to color in the lines. And I always felt bad for it. So I definitely didn't feel, I felt like a normal kid, but I felt like I was an outcast.
Yeah. For somebody watching this that feels like there's a lot of ambition within them, but they don't know how to channel it, where to go. Just walk us through a little bit of a quick 1 to 2 minutes of your journey. How did you go from zero? Because there's a lot of people that are starting like, I'm broke, my back's against the wall, I got to figure out how to make some magic happen and channel this energy, to, like, let's say your first 6 figures, because that's a major milestone. You know, what was that evolution of your journey like?
Yeah, it felt like I was all over the place, and I want people to understand, when they see someone young killing it, there was a lot of sacrifice. When I was 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, those 4 or 5 years, I didn't really go out. I didn't go see my family a lot. I missed family events. There was some sacrifice involved. So I want people to understand, because they see me now killing it young. There was a lot of sacrifice where all my friends were doing one thing and I was doing the exact opposite, because I had a vision for having financial freedom at a young age, because no one around me did. So there was definitely some sacrifice. I think the first step for me, when I was dead broke, and I didn't know at the time there was a framework, looking back, now I thought about everything that I went through, the first step really was gaining clarity on who the heck I was. Like, who I was, who I wasn't, and then who I needed to be around to get to that next level. So I think clarity on, like, figuring out where you are right now. Like, what has held you back? I knew what was holding me back in the moment. So I got clear on why I was where I was. You cannot improve your reality until you deal in reality. And most people don't want to deal in reality because they're always escaping it. They're always escaping reality because their reality sucks. And I had to face my reality of, I just dropped out of college. I want to get more influence. I dropped out of college. I went against my family, all my friends. I feel like a failure in society's eyes. I have no confidence. I'm dead broke. I have no choices. What the heck am I doing? I had to start from there. So I had to start with like being honest with myself. Then I got crystal clear on what I wanted and then why I wanted it. So I started writing down all the reasons of why I wanted to be financially free, why I didn't want a normal job, all the instances from my past that stuck with me about why I don't want to be normal. There were so many people in my hometown, and God bless my hometown, I go back and visit. Almost everyone there has settled. And everyone told me to get a normal job. No one has financial freedom. They all have money issues. They're like, I can't go out, I can't travel, and I didn't want that. So I thought about all those things. I racked up so many reasons, Cody, and I wrote down what I wanted. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I wrote down what I wanted and why, and what I was willing to give up. That was step one. So anyone out there, get clear on what you want and why you want it. And you said something at the beginning. You said, what about all the people that want to succeed and want to crush it? Everybody wants to crush it. Everybody wants to succeed. That's a given. But it's not about who wants it, it's who deserves it and who puts in the extra work and actually shows they're serious through sacrifice and action. So second step for me is I really had to shift my circle of influence. It's funny now that looking back, but I was like thinking about all the people I was hanging out with, they were all broke. So I'm 22 and I'm broke. And I'm telling my friends, dude, we're broke, what are we doing? And they're like, oh, it's fine, you're 22, you're supposed to be broke. That's what I had around me. So first, evaluate who you're around. If you hang out with 5 millionaires, you're gonna be the 6th. You hang out with 5 intelligent people, you'll be the 6th. You hang out with 5 idiots, you tell me. So I made a list of the people I was around, and nothing wrong with those people, but I did not want to be average, and I did not want to be broke. I remember the feeling, I get chills thinking about it. I remember the feeling of being broke, which I'm sure you've had, and having no choices and not being able to do what I want and being at the mercy of other people kind of telling me what to do. I hated that, so I never wanted to go back. So I elevated my circle of influence. I wrote down a list of the 5 people I wanted to be around that made more money than me, that were in my company, that were crushing it. So I made a list of my growth friends that I wanted to connect with, and then my maintenance friends that kind of held me back. And all I did was just lower the time I spent with my maintenance friends, and I increased the time I spent with the people that were killing it. So I elevated my circle of influence. So once I got clear, I elevated who I was around, and it's crazy. That gave me more clarity and gave me a roadmap because I asked them what to do next. My biggest problem was I felt like I had to figure everything out on my own. And I was banging my head against the wall every day, like, what can I do? How do I make money? How do I get out of this? How do I build an influence? I stopped doing that, and I realized that I didn't have to have the answer, my network did. So once you build your network, they will have the answers for you. Some of the talk we had previous and some of the conversation we've had, I learned things that would take me 2-3 years to learn by one conversation with you, so it cuts my learning curve in half. And I've been doing that ever since. That was step 2, is circle of influence. And then 3, I had to really start building my confidence account because everyone talks about someone's bank account, but for me, it was like, I didn't have a confidence account. And you're gonna succeed based on what your confidence account looks like. And everything you do in life, sadly, either helps or hurts your confidence account. Make the easy decisions, your confidence account gets killed. So I was making the easy decisions, I was cutting corners, and every time I cut corners, every time I didn't follow through my word, every time I messed around and I went partied when I should have been home reading books or writing goals down, my confidence was lowered. So finally I started making the tough choices in the moment. Do I escape reality? Do I eat the cheeseburger or the salad? So I started choosing growth in the moment. That gave me a lot more confidence, a lot more self-esteem. Once I started getting around the right people with that confidence, I started moving forward. And that's when I started gaining a little more belief and starting being more resourceful and started understanding that it is possible where I'm from, because some of the people that I was connecting with, the short answer, Cody, is I was talking to people making 500K, I was dead broke. How can I not get to 6 figures? That's only people I'm talking to is people making 500K. That's the only people I talk to for like a whole 6 months. Of course, I could be not smart, I could have 0 experience, I could have everything going against me, but if I'm taking action from the people that are telling me what to do that are already making it, that's how I got the 6 figures. Then I started building rituals, result rituals, productivity rituals. I started really doing things that I didn't feel like doing in the moment, and really focusing on consistently building practices and skills that were proven to be successful in my industry. Sales skills, people building skills, recruiting skills, marketing skills. And that's, I think your first 6 figures is just getting around the right people, getting confidence in yourself, and finding an avenue that allows you to make 6 figures. You could be pumped up, but if you're at a 9 to 5, nothing you can do.
So let's talk about that. First off, you said, you literally said like 20 things I wanted to comment on, but you were on such a roll. I'm like, let them go. Just roll with it. Couple things I just want to highlight because you were in the zone. First off, strengths and weaknesses. Everybody has them. And I think that's really inspiring that at a very early age you were able to identify and get real with yourself and look at strengths and weaknesses. Because weaknesses to me doesn't mean that you suck at them. Weaknesses, you might be good at those weaknesses if you had to bear down and just through pure blunt force, fight through them, but they suck the soul out of you. And I always encourage people, especially, it gets harder as you're older, so, try to identify these young and avoid them, but focus on your strengths and delegate, automate, delete your weaknesses in life. So,
But the problem is, and I'm glad you brought that up, because the problem was I wasn't delegating my weaknesses because I was taught in school to focus on your weaknesses. So
which is the dumbest advice ever.
But that's what I was taught growing up in a small town. It's like, you got to work on your weaknesses. So I'm in direct sales, and I'm in sales, and I'm working on my weaknesses. When you work on your weaknesses and you try to be Superman and do everything yourself, you start to dislike things you used to love. So not only was I not liking what I was doing, I was trying to get good at things I hated, which made me hate things I love doing. So I was like on a downward spiral because I paid attention to what
so many people get trapped into that
100%
mindset.
So that was when I realized the majority is always wrong. Well, society taught me 2 things when I was broke. First thing they said was, you just got to work harder. That's all they said, work more hours. So I would go from 40 to 50 hours.
Trading time for money.
50 to 60 hours, no change. I went from 60 to 80 hours, and I still wasn't getting results. So I'm like, why are you guys all telling me to just work more hours when I'm working more hours and I'm still getting no results? So that's the second thing they said is like, invest in everything you can and just watch every video and all these things. And I was like, okay, that sounds good. But then I got overwhelmed.
Yep.
So I'm like, I'm never listening to society ever again. I was like 23, like I'm not listening to society. I'm not listening to schools or teachers. And it sounds rebellious, but they got me to where I was, which was broke.
But think about how many people who don't have, what did you call it, a confidence bank?
Confidence account.
Your confidence account. They haven't stacked their confidence account up yet, so when they hear a good idea or they see a money-making opportunity, no wonder so many people jump from vehicle to vehicle to vehicle, constantly changing directions, constantly second-guessing themselves, and never actually getting any real proven lasting results because they don't have the confidence to put the blinders on, say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this one thing and dominate it, and I'm going to keep doing it for however long it takes. So
here's a funny story. So I tried to do something different. This was a big breakthrough for me. So that same thing happened where I was like, oh, this is a moneymaker. I'm 23. I'm like, I got to do this too. I was failing at what I was doing in direct sales, so I jumped somewhere else, and I failed that. But then this epiphany came, and I was like, I'm still here. Wherever I am, I'm still here. So I left this opportunity, and I went somewhere else. It's still me. I was failing here. I'm going to fail here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so it's me I have to work on. It's not like these people that don't do well at something, they jump somewhere else. It's like, if you don't succeed here and you're not crushing it, then it's going to be hard. We had this thing happen in our company years ago after I left, where half the company left to go to this other company that kind of recruited them. Yep. And here's what I realized after a year of talking to different people. The people that were killing it at that company are killing it at the other company. The people that were average at that company are average at the other company. And the people that sucked at this company sucked at that company. Wherever you are, you're still there. You know what I mean? So it's like, I realized that at a young age, like, it's me. I'm the factor. I need to better myself, develop myself, become irreplaceable. So wherever I could put you in any situation, Cody, you will kill it. Because it's you.
I will kill it.
It's you.
That's a guarantee.
But you know what I mean, though. So it's like, you put me in a different sales position, I'll kill it because I've developed the skills. That's what people need to know.
So you leaned in on a skill, and you developed a skill at a very young age, the skill of sales. And you were selling Cutco. What did that teach you? Because that right there it's scary to go up to somebody and do direct sales. That journey had to have given you so much value of learning the presentation, the package, the pitch, reading people's, the psychology, the influence, the persuasion techniques, the overcoming objections. I always tell people that come into my world, like, sales is one of those skills that even if you don't feel like a salesperson, you don't want to be a salesperson, I guarantee from the moment you were born, you have been a salesperson your whole life, because it's the best skill you can ever develop. And people do it, like even my wife, she doesn't consider herself a salesperson until she wants a new puppy. Then she goes on a freaking mission and totally uses psychology to get me to do something I don't want to do, which I'm like, dogs are a lot of work, they're expensive, I'm going to end up taking care of it, I'm going to do all the work. You're telling me right now you're going to do everything, you're not going to do shit. I'm going to do all the work, I'm going to feed it, I'm going to clean up. And yet somehow I go from adamant no way till after her campaign is over, I not only have the puppy, I love the puppy, and I'm doing all the work on the puppy, and I'm totally cool with it because she's convinced me.
That's marriage, guys.
That's marriage. But in the what I'm getting at is everybody has it within them. It's just you develop that skill. How has that skill served you as you went off? Because now you use it in so many different aspects of your business.
It's not even quantifiable. It's hard to explain. I just connecting with people and being able to share a vision, and in a conversation, someone's being sold. Either you're selling or you're being sold. So just having an ability to influence someone to make a great decision that's best for them, or to share a vision, or to convince people of things that you know is best for them when they might not even know, it served me 100-fold by learning that. And I had no option. Sales was scary for me. I failed at it. I didn't want to get in front of 5 people. My first speech ever was at a little sales meeting in our own office, and it was in front of 10 people, and I was like this. I couldn't even do it.
Shaking the
paper.
paper.
I've spoken in front of 4,000 or 5,000 people, keynote speaker in Dubai at the Atlantis, right? And I was super confident just because the experience, and along the way you gain the confidence, and you gain the confidence account by taking action. But it's changed my life, and I wouldn't change. I think everybody should at least try sales and get into something that they're paid based off their value. I had no other option, Cody, because I could not work for someone else. I don't even call this a strength. Maybe it is a strength, but I can't work for someone else. It's impossible. It is physically impossible. You could not pay me
you already know
$100
you'd be a bad employee.
I wouldn't be an employee.
Yeah.
I can't listen to people. I've been like that since I was little. I don't want to say I don't respect authority, but it's like I don't know. I can't describe it.
Own it.
Well, and I had my first job ever was valeting cars at 17. And you can valet cars at a casino when you're 17, which is crazy. So I was valeting cars, and there was someone there that worked there 7-8 months before me, older guy, did bare minimum, hid behind the thing, bare minimum, did nothing, got paid more.
And he's in charge.
Hold on. I'm like, I'm doing all the work, I'm doing all these cars, I got a letter written about me from a customer, I'm fired up, I'm like, I'm helping so many customers, I'm making sure they get more value, I get paid minimum wage, he gets paid more. That was a breakthrough. I'm like, how is that possible? Just because he's been there longer? That doesn't make sense.
Dude, you'd hate the military.
Yeah, I wouldn't make it 2 minutes.
Dude, you get in there, and within 5 seconds, people that are like this machine is smarter than any of the people that were in charge of me when I first got in.
So it made you want to rebel.
And you sit there and you look at them and you're like, oh my God, just because you've been in for 2 years, you're in charge. Like you don't qualify to be in charge. You earn it through putting in the time. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, that happened. A lot of people now are like, I have a lot of people reach out to me, Cody, that are 45, 50, 60, and somehow they got let go, or they haven't developed the skill past what their job was, whether it's a truck driver, whether it's someone that was in corporate that got fired. And they preach to me, they say, Peter, I don't know how I'm at this position. I have 20 years of experience. And I say, you don't. You have 1 year repeated 20 times. Because you're doing the same thing every single year. You're not developing those skills. You're not going to classes. You're not investing in yourself. You're not going home and thinking about how you can make that position more valuable. You have 1 year repeated 20 times. And that was a big game changer, realizing that if you don't develop yourself every year and invest in yourself and bet on yourself and sharpen your skills, get around higher level people and get around a better network, you're no better than you were the year before. It doesn't matter if you're 40, 70, or 5. And then the second breakthrough at the casino job was I was making $7.05 an hour, and I would add up my paychecks. I did this all the time. I would add up $7.05 times 40 hours a week minus taxes times like 4 weeks times 3 months. And then I looked at that number and I'm like, no matter what I do, no matter who I become, no matter how many people I help or how much value I add, I'm getting this. How is that motivating? So that was my last job I've ever had. So when things got hard in sales, I'm like, I'd rather go through massive challenges and failures than work for someone else. So I had no other option.
I love it. I love it. But that led you, how did you go from, well, I guess you learned some skills while you were going through that. You started building teams, you started teaching, you started influencing. Is that where the love and art of influence started coming from, developing your sales teams?
So 2013, I wanted to expand. My mission was growing, and I was making a good $300-400K a year, working 10, 15 hours a week. Everything systemized. That's
what I love about sales. Sky's the limit.
I was crushing it.
You get good at it, sky's the limit.
And I was crushing it. And everyone around me would be like, dude, you're making more money than most people, and you're 20, whatever. And I'm like, nah, I have a bigger mission. I want to impact more people. So transitioned. I started reaching. I used the same skill that I learned to get the 6 figures to reach out to more people to eventually get the 7, where I reached out to influencers, reached out to Gary Vee and Grant Cardone and these big names. And started
Through social.
Through email, actually, back in the day. There wasn't, like, my first platform was like Twitter, and then Facebook, then Twitter, Snapchat, and now recently Instagram the last couple of years, but that was the only platforms that were alive.
So you just found somebody that was playing the game at a high level, and you just started tapping them.
100%.
Hey, yo.
I wasn't like one time, hey, do you have time? I kept hitting them up. I was persistent.
Relentless.
Yeah, relentless. My mentor, my first Millionaire mentor, Jordan Weirs, I hit up 5-6 times on Facebook, and I'm like, this was my pitch at the end. I'm like, look, I know you drive home every night. He had a nice yellow Lamborghini. And I said, I know you drive home. Just give me a call on the way home. I promise I only need 5 minutes of your time. I really need your help. I don't mind paying you. That's the key, is like, I don't mind paying you.
Yeah, get their attention.
Give me 5 minutes. Finally, he's like, give me your number. And he called me on the way home. And the rest it's a wrap. So I shared my vision. He wanted to help me. I was paying him $12.50 a month. And he's the one that got me from 6 to 7 figures. But influence-wise, I started to find my voice. And what really frustrated me was when I was looking for a lot of people to follow and paying attention to a lot of the people in my industry and listening to their stuff. Don't take this the wrong way, but there was just so much fluff. I'm like, there's too much fluff. I can't even listen to these guys. I'm like, I gotta be myself. I want to go in this industry. I don't want to change it, and I don't want to downplay anyone else, but I'm like, I know how to get people real results, not just fluff. Like, believe in yourself. I know how to actually help people. So I found my voice. I was myself. I reached out, and slowly, organically, it started growing. Grant Cardone, shout out. He actually got me my first speech, paid speech, $5,000.
Really?
And he got me to write for Entrepreneur magazine.
Grant did that for you. He was the connect.
So I owe him. And I added.
Way to go, Grant.
Yeah, Grant's the man. I'll never forget that. He didn't have to.
Grant people love and hate him. They don't know which way to go sometimes with him. Some people are diehard fans. Some people despise him.
That's almost everybody.
The fact that he did that for you is pretty impressive.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that, because you wouldn't listen to him and right off the bat think that he's a connector and a servant like that.
And I didn't really know much about his stuff. I didn't really love some of his stuff, but when I was like, he was a sales guy and I reached out, he got me, he's like, hey, I can't do this speech and it's way below my fee, it's $5K, will you take it? He took a liking to me. And I've paid him back by promoting him and stuff like that. I do everything I can to help, but it's crazy that he was able to get
Good
me.
for him, he saw talent.
Yeah, he saw talent.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then it's just, you said something, you said people either hate or love him. I think I realized too, you have to be polarizing, you have to really be yourself, because if you're not polarizing, people aren't really gonna care. If you're boring, they're not gonna care. And I think
you gotta stand out in today's busy world.
People will love you or hate you, but it makes the audience that's right for you love you even more. think about every I thought about it, and every legend and celebrity that is like really big, people love them or hate them. There's no celebrity or legend that you're like, nah, he's all right.
Yeah.
So I wanted to
if
be
you're playing it
polarizing.
that safe,
Yeah.
where
Yeah, exactly.
nobody's really
I didn't
talking
wanna
about
play
you
it
and
safe.
it's good to have people talk shit around the water cooler
For sure.
a little bit.
And then I think the biggest thing, Cody, is I found my voice. I figured out what industry I wanted to dominate, and then I tried to add more value than anybody else. I put out videos, content consistently. I tried so much different content to see what stuck, and then I realized that my audience and my customers are marketing geniuses, and I would ask them what they wanted. I would get so in tune with my audience, millennials. I would study them for hundreds of hours. I would survey them, ask them what they wanted. I would interview them. And once I started to join a lot of these programs and realized they weren't as valuable, that's when I created the Academy, because I took my strengths of connecting with people and influencing and impacting people and giving value and put it into something that matched my values, which was impact, scalability, income, flexibility, travel.
So that's how Game Changers Academy was born.
Yeah.
All right. And it was really cool because I've had an opportunity to do a Game Changer Academy
They loved you.
interview. We had fun, and great feedback. You got like diehard tribe going on. So, all right. So now you're writing for entrepreneurial.com.
You got me fired up now. So
Game Changer Academy is crushing it. You got, you're impacting all these people. 5 years from now, where are you?
So, interesting question. I think because we finally found a niche. I love what I do. I'm about to be a dad. My wife is 5 months pregnant. So now I'm really,
Come on, bring it in.
Asking you a lot of questions.
Dude, you're about to double your income, son.
So everything now is like how to build a world-class lifestyle.
You know you're supposed to drink after you cheers.
Did I not drink?
No.
Dude,
no.
people get mad at me all the time for that. I never drink after.
You've got to actually drink. This is to the future.
If I'm ever with you and I don't drink after cheers, get mad at me.
All right, so what were you saying?
I think everything now is I want to build a world-class lifestyle, have a world-class impact. I want world-class peace of mind, world-class family, world-class experiences, world-class flexibility. So we're just going to triple down on everything we're doing that's working, and I want to continue to scale. People always ask, like, what's next? I'm like, honestly, what we're doing is working. I'm the most fulfilled I've ever been. Income's great, impact's growing. I'm just gonna triple down. I'm gonna hire a couple more rock stars and just continue doing what I'm doing because I love it. So why fix it if it's going well? And I think there's a lot of people that I've talked to, we had this conversation earlier, that they're making $50, $100 million. They're making hundreds of millions, but they don't have a lifestyle that inspires them. So if you've built a business that's making you hundreds of millions of dollars, but you don't have a lifestyle you're inspired by, or your kids don't know who you are, you have failed. You have failed. You have $100 million, but you're not at your kids' game. That's what I love about you is you're at your kids' games, competitive cheerleading. Like, that's amazing. If you're like, I can't make it, I got to work.
One of the biggest realizations I ever had.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, because it's hard not to want to win.
For sure.
Always.
At what cost, though?
Yeah, at what cost? That's a beautiful insight. And, I think you're really wise for doubling down. My mentor used to always say, starve the ponies, feed the horses. That was as simple as he kept it. Just keep doing what you find something that works.
Sorry for the pony lovers.
But don't always think that, grass is greener if you make the widget better, or, go create a new product or go start selling something else. It's like, find what works and just work it. And, one of the things that I'm really inspired by when I watch your life on social is you're traveling all the time. And it makes me want to go. Like, I'm sitting at my desk and then I'm looking at you in like Mexico and I'm like, screw that, I'm freaking out of here.
If you ever leave, sorry guys, it's my fault.
Book the trip, we're out, and so I think that's really smart for you to keep your business really tight, keep a tight team, and my best advice for you, because we're in the same industry, different niches, but same industry, is always focus on management of cash flow first, not top line revenue. Just manage that cash flow really tight and keep profit margins high and provide massive value, and you'll win the game. Like, it's a guarantee.
I love it. I appreciate that. Yeah, and it took me a long time to figure it out. But I have too had a year of my life where I kind of was focused on studying like a lot older people, like 70, 80, 90, and just realizing a lot of them regret, number one. And seeing like regret in someone's eyes is like, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure when I'm 80, 90, 100, I like am looking in the mirror like I have zero regret. Lifestyle, kids, family, legacy, whatever. So that's what I would tell people. It's like everyone's talking about hustle, grind, hustle, go build $1 million. It's like, that's fine, but you won't get to the end of your life and wish you had more transactions. At least I won't, you know what I mean? So I think the next 5 years, the answer is just continuing to build a world-class life, being a world-class dad. My kid will be 4 or 5, which is, I can't even imagine a kid being here. Like we were at the store the other day and there was like I don't even know what are the things that you hold with the baby in it? No. Like a car seat.
Baby carrier.
Baby carrier? I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
There's no way
I have kids. It's a baby carrier.
There's no way I'm ever gonna carry it. And my wife's like, yes, you are. I'm like, I can't even imagine that.
Dude, I took a daddy class because I was so scared to change diapers. I thought I would drop the kid and screw it up. And here's the thing. It's a weird phenomenon that's gonna happen to you because you're gonna evolve to such an amazing creator on a new level. Your vision and your mindset and your capabilities is gonna grow for no other reason than you're now responsible for something that's so precious that that's why I said you're gonna double your income, right? If you really do it right, you'll double your income.
Marty, the motivations, it's funny that literally the week I found out she was pregnant, I had this thing, we were planning a baby shower and some other stuff, and these people wanted me to speak in LA, and I literally raised my fee. I'm like, if you're gonna get me, and the speaking was a similar time than when the baby was born. There was 2 speeches, one in LA and one was in Bali, which is an amazing area. Bali, it's like what? Or Bali? And I was like, gladly, I was like, I can't do it, no.
Smart.
Like right when my baby.
You can't miss it.
You cannot pay me enough money to leave my kid.
You wanna hear a funny story though? This is just me being real and raw. Hudson was born. I stared at him like, what the hell is going on here? It looked like a little space alien baby. Well, first off, me and him are identical, so
I can only imagine alien.
I can only imagine my parents looking at space alien Sperber here. But it took me until he started laughing and interacting for me to go, I like this kid, right? Because it was so shocking for me. Brinley came, Brinley came, my daughter. As soon as she came out and I looked at her, I freaking melted. It was like being kicked in the heart by an angel. I've never felt instantaneous true love at that level. I hope, Hudson, when you watch this, I love you the same, if not more than any angel can love a baby. But there is something about that moment when if it happens, I hope it happens to you because I never believed in love at first sight. But when you experience it, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
You're getting me excited.
Yeah.
I don't know when this interview's coming out, but September.
Yeah,
it's coming in September.
We'll time it perfect. All right, so listen, last inspiring words. You have an audience. You've always been great at taking advantage of a platform. A lot of people that follow me on social media, they want to learn how to make money. They want to be an entrepreneur. But I have all age ranges. They're not just young, they're older. What advice would you give somebody that wants to start their own business? Right now, maybe they're working a full-time job. They've been doing it for a long time. They don't hate their job, but maybe they just are looking for more out of life. What advice would you take somebody or give somebody?
There's no more excuses left. Like, there is stay-at-home moms making $1 million a year. There's people with the worst past you can imagine crushing it. There's no excuses left if you look. So the first thing I'd say is set a date. Like, make it real. Like, it is possible. If you put a date in your calendar 6 months or a year from now, where if you don't love what you do right now, put a date. Because as time decreases, intensity and resourcefulness increases. And the best thing I ever figured out, Cody, if I could tell anyone anything, it's just know yourself. When you really, really know yourself, what sparks your fire, like what values you have, what do you really, really want, you are unstoppable. If you know yourself, opinions become irrelevant. If you have good intentions, zero hate affects you. You could have smear articles. You could have 100 people like, dude, he's a bad person. It does not even enter your mind if you know yourself. So know yourself. And the second thing I'd say is realize that now matters more than ever. I think the number one thing I get from people, the number one mistake I see is everyone's like, someday I'll be successful. Right now, I don't like my job, but I have to, and they validate with the dumbest validations to make themselves feel better for being mediocre. But that is not gonna lower your regret, it's gonna increase it. So tell yourself right now matters. The stars will never align, ever. So if you can be like now, not tomorrow, like the second this video is done, like right now, write down what you want, who you really are, and what you're willing to give up to get what you want. And if you can do that, you will be resourceful enough. You don't have to have the answers. You don't have to have the experience or have the money. If you have the right network and you have the right roadmap and you know yourself, anything is possible, man. And you don't even have to fully believe in yourself right away. I didn't believe in myself till after I made 6 figures. But you have to take action like you do and get around people that believe in you. And if you do that, you're gonna change the game. But most people would rather escape reality and validate than actually get in the trenches and grind and really understand what it takes to be successful. So if you want it bad enough, you will find a way. It's just a fact. If not, you'll find an excuse, and it'll be the latest creative excuse, but you're gonna have regret. So I would really challenge people to just tell themselves right now matters, today matters, tonight matters.
Boom.
To set themselves up for the next moment tomorrow. So
That was powerful, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, cheers to you. You're very blessed.
I'm gonna drink.
Yeah, now this time you have to drink. How do people find you? Where do they go? I mean, below this video, we're gonna put some links so you can connect with Peter on different social platforms.
Yeah, at Peter J. Voogd.
Yeah, the G is silent. But
D is silent.
The D is silent. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But you pronounce it better than 99% of people, so you did a good job.
Voogd, good. Voogd did. Voogd did.
Peter J. Voogd, and then if they reach out and need some help and they say it's from you or this interview, I'll definitely help them out.
Yeah, I mean, I highly recommend if you want to get plugged into an awesome community of like-minded entrepreneurs, go check out his Game Changers Academy. I'll put a link down below, and just get involved. I mean, that's really all.
Man.
Yeah.
Thanks for who you
got
are,
this.
man, for helping me.
Dudes,
I'm inspired.
whatever it takes, baby. All right, guys, thanks for watching this all the way to the end. I got to finish my beer. You guys got to go. I mean, it's time for you to go
drink.
Entrepreneur your way to wealth. One drink.
One drink.
I'm like back in college.
One drink, let's go.
You got like this much.
One drink.
All right, I'm gonna drink my way to you going back to work. All right, bye. Oh, my assist here, film her real fast.
Remind
Film
them,
her.
remind them.
What do I gotta do?
Like this video,
I gotta like the video, I gotta comment on the video,
subscribe, turn on post notifications.
post notifications.
This is real,
This is,
authentic.
engagement. Wait, Greg, are you drunk? Greg's drunk behind the camera. Did you drink all of your drinks? Yeah, that's right. All right, anyways, go back to work. Go on. We're out of here.
Peace.